Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Final Flight podcast. We're here for the Cheltenham Festival Countdown show. Again, the series is going well. Episode 4. Another cracking guest, Josh Guerriero. Good evening, mate. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Good evening, lads. Yeah, good. Thanks. Not too bad.
Yeah, good man. You know, we've had some really good guests on this series this season so far, and thank you for coming on. Another belter. We'll get stuck into some of your stuff in a minute. Rich, obviously, we had a decent week. You looking forward to getting into some more Cheltenham chat?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's Christmas. It's always a good time for racing, so it should be good.
Good man. And we've got Joe. Joe's back on the show, and he's actually got a base camp with a camera and a microphone and everything. He's real. He is here. Joe, welcome back, mate. You're right.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Back home now for Christmas, so try and get my head into some racing. It looks some decent racing this weekend. Some big boys are out, so yeah, and get the Cheltenham Festival talk going. I know after Christmas and the King George, it's normally all go for Cheltenham, isn't it? So, we'll get the ball rolling.
Good man. Well, like we say, the festive period is always a fantastic period, so we'll get onto that later. But yeah, so Josh, we've also got you this evening, so we're going to grill you to the nines and find out every single bit of information we can on every single one of your horses that you have in training. Normally joking. We'll only go through a few, I promise you. So there's no, so there's no other place to start really than the big boy, Ioko. Obviously, you know, there's all the stuff going about with it at the moment. You know, the plans, the Grand National. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're just trying to work our way back from there. Really, it's just obviously he started the season on 152, so it's not that easy to sort of pick your way through the season, look after his mark, and he needs to have enough runs over fences to get to running the national. So there's all different little things that we've got to get done without trying to go up too high in the handicap as well, so we've got to look after that a little bit. Hence why we're running over sort of 2.5 miles and try and keep him as unexposed as possible.
No, mate, it's fair enough. I mean, just sort of for maybe viewers who don't really understand. So, how many more runs does he need to have before the Grand National?
So, to run in the Grand National, you have to have 6 runs over fences, and I think he's had 4, 5 maybe. So he needs 2 more.
His fifth will be on Saturday, I think.
His 5th is Saturday, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he needs 2 more. So yeah, after Saturday, I'm not really sure where we'll go. Might wait for the weights to come out, national weights, and then have a go in a handicap somewhere.
The weights come out before Cheltenham?
The weights come out before Cheltenham, yes. I think they come out sort of mid to end Feb. So it gives you enough time to have a go in a handicap somewhere.
So, so going to the Haydock racing, has it come out of the Haydock race well? So I mean, you know, you're obviously there to win, but what did you make of the run?
Yeah, literally delighted. Bar not winning, everything was perfect. He jumped unreal, travelled through the race really well. He challenged the horse at perfect time, and then he just couldn't quite get past. The other horse, to be fair to it, put his head down and wouldn't let us past either. 2 of us have picked up all the way up to the line. Like the distance they've put between them and the third from the last to the line, they've obviously picked up, as well as the other one probably getting a bit tired, but they've gone away from it. So I don't think that front horse was stopping, and he's just made it very hard for us. And Kim Bailey's are hard to get past generally. They're fit as fleas. He's improved loads. He's literally come on a ton from there. He seems a lot better. His fitness is stripped up, and yeah, looking forward to Saturday. It's a bit of a odd little race, really tricky. I'm not sure what to make of him, but hopefully he's the class horse in the race. Well, not the class horse; they're all class, but he's the one improving.
Yeah. You know, it makes sense. Like I say, I mean, you know, we're big behind him, and hopefully can run well, and then all systems go for the national. Obviously, it'd be fantastic to see him. See him anxious. So looking forward to that. It'd be a nice day out for you all as well, won't it? So that's Ioko. That's brilliant. The next one tonight is one that's a real big favourite of mine, Gentleman Bill. He obviously got the mark of 111. He must have been laughing at that before the race last time. He's gone and bolted up under Henry. What do you make of him? Come on.
Yeah, to be fair, we thought he had a few pounds in him, but he did it even easier than we thought. I mean, 12-1 on his back to win like that takes some doing in a handicap. Plan with him really. Again, he needs a couple of runs before he can run in any of those decent handicaps. He needs 2 more runs over hurdles. So we might just look at a little novice hurdle somewhere again with a double penalty. Something like that, and then maybe another run before maybe looking at some spring targets. Something like the Betfair might be his race, Imperial Cup. The the race up at Kelso. I can't think what it's called now. But yeah, there's a few options for him. Just have a look at a good handicap.
Yeah, when you sort of horse wins like that and you get like a 12, I mean, he's been raised up £12. You can look at that and think, oh, could have done with that being a bit lower, or you kind of bottleneck him into like a, you know, where you're going to go next.
Yeah, exactly. But he needed, obviously, we'd love to have won another one before we got to 123, but it probably just shows that he's a lot better than that mark, and he needs to get to those ratings to get in any decent races anyway. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world. I think he's probably hopefully still got a bit in hand, and the form seems to be working out from his previous runs. So, yeah, like I say, there's 2 or 3 races there from in the spring that are worth a bit of money.
Would you keep him at 2, or would you look to step him up?
To be fair, we were gonna step him up, but I thought go to Doncaster, big galloping track over 2 miles, see how he gets on.
Yeah.
And he showed like he was last off the bridle, so I think we can stick at 2 for now. Try and save going up and trip till we have to, really.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Say again, sorry.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, exactly, yeah, exactly. Till we get beat, there's no point really, so we can leave that up our sleeve for when we need it.
Nice.
Fantastic. Another big one then, Gabaro. I mean, I can't tell you how deep we were in for the Beecher, Josh. And the fact that it got called off, we were gutted. What were your thoughts on the Beecher? And I know obviously he got beat next time, maybe a couple of errors just cost him. But what are your thoughts on the Beecher and Gabaro going forward, mate?
Yeah, just so annoying. Like you say, he loves that track, brings him alive. He jumps really well. Just frustrating that they couldn't reschedule it. I don't know. In Ireland, they seem to be able to just reschedule a meeting 2 days later on a Monday or something. But here, we just struggle and just so frustrating. There's a big day, that Beecher Day at Aintree, and there's only four races over those fences in the whole season. So to lose one is a bit frustrating, especially over that trip, because the only race now for him would be the Topham over there, and he's probably just not quite quick enough. So, yeah, annoying, but it is what it is. So we had to reroute to Doncaster, and yeah, he was running a nice race, but just made a bad mistake and at a crucial time lost his confidence. And then Henry just said he just really struggled to get going again. I think he's got a decent race in him though. He's improved a lot this season, and I think maybe something like the Ida might be a target for him at Newcastle. I think those staying trips will bring out the best in him.
Yeah, no, did the cross country get mentioned at one point? Was that in the plans at any point?
That's another option. Yeah, we had him entered at the Cheltenham cross country this time, but just felt it looked a decent enough race. So there's a small chance. We speaking to his owner Guy Middleton. We might have a look at the festival cross country, see how he gets on in that, and then we're planning to go to France with him. Excuse me, in the spring, sort of the same races that we went to with Jess Gill. There's a couple of races there in May and June that are worth a good bit of money. Just try and do a bit similar to Jess Gill, really.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be watching that with intrigue. So just carrying on then. So there's a really good youngster that we actually got off Henry when he come on the podcast called About Damn Time. He obviously won under Craig Nicol when Henry was begging for the meeting to be called off, but it wasn't. I know he kind of struggled a little bit at Cheltenham the next day, but what do you think of this young lad?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. He just the other day, Craig just didn't feel like he was the same horse. He said he just felt slightly flat. I think maybe just had a proper hard race at Carlisle, first one of the season, and maybe Cheltenham came a couple of weeks too soon for him. He just wasn't himself. So I think we can put a line through that on Saturday. We'll probably just have to drop him back into a normal little novice, just get his confidence back somewhere. But he's going to be a horse for next year. He'll be a proper staying chaser, I'd say.
Yeah, love it. I mean, it were pretty grueling. Go on, Joe.
I was just going to say a little backstory on that. So you know the photo I put in Fenton, who sometimes comments on here?
Yeah.
His girlfriend's dad was a jockey, and he actually had About Damn Time and sold him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get his name up. His surname is Collins.
Right.
He's from up our way. I will get.
What did he sell him to Ireland?
Yeah.
Right.
He's had a few actually. But yeah, I have texted him, so I will get the lowdown on that. But yeah,
He's a nice horse.
Yeah, I had a video sent through today, and Fenton was walking him around. Fenton's my friend.
Right. When you said Fenton, my dog's called Fenton. You know, the little ginger one. Oh my God.
Fenton's trotting around with about damn time.
To be fair, this Fenton guy, I thought it was I won't say what I thought it was, but then it turns out it's Joe's mate. So it's a good cool story there. Cool story there, Joe. Appreciate that. So moving on. Hump Public then won at Donny. What are anything? He's come out of that race well. Obviously, another really good horse that we like.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah, we're just on a bit of a confidence finding mission with him going back over hurdles. Seemed to lose his way a bit in those good races over fences and just put his jumping under pressure and then lost the confidence. So we went back over hurdles to try and get that, and looks like it's worked, which is great. Probably try and have one more run over hurdles in January as a race at Doncaster for him, and then go back over fences in the spring for some nice races. But yeah, he's been a star for us. I think someone sent me a stat the other day. He's ran out of 15 runs. I think he's only been unplaced. He's been in the first 4, something like 8 or 10 times. So like he's been ultra consistent.
That's fantastic. If we could all get a horse like that, we'd be very happy, to be honest with you.
Exactly, it's a good level as well.
Yeah. Exactly, he's run to a fantastic level, and that's all you can ask for, really. One massive podcast favourite of ours, then, and one that's kind of drumming up some publicity on Twitter and stuff. Jaguar, the big boy, obviously been winning really well. Got beat last time, made that pretty bad error at the last, but managed to stay up. What's sort of the plan for him going forward now? Then after that,
well, I'm not sure he's quite himself. He scoped a little bit dirty after, and he's been really quiet since. So I was slightly disappointed how he didn't pick up a little bit better with that. And Nicky Henderson's a good horse, don't get me wrong. But the way Jaguars, his last twice he's won, he's finished real strong. And I just didn't really see that. And I was a little bit disappointed, but I thought, maybe it's just a good horse. We've gone up in the handicap. The other one's a good horse. We've gone up in the handicap, blah, blah, blah. But possibly he wasn't quite himself because he's been really quiet since. The plan is go Cheltenham in January trials day. There's a novices handicap chase, 2.5 miles. See how he copes with that. If he copes with that all right, then we might look at a festival race back there. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up stepping up to 3 mile at some stage. He's settled. He seems to stay well. He was always just too keen to do that, and he's bred to want a trip, and he's massive. And I think it'll help his jumping. So, I don't know when we'll go 3 mile, whether that's next year, but I think he could be going up to that trip at some stage.
I mean, he's still quite young. We do forget that. I feel like he's been around for ages since you got him over and went. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's only 5, isn't he? So, yeah, he's going to keep getting better.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of,
go on, Joe.
Another Fenton story, is it?
Yeah, it's called Richard Collins.
Richard Collins.
Yeah.
Can't think of.
Nobody knows him, Joe. Nobody knows him, mate.
Well, he had waiting patiently.
He sold that as well?
Yeah, he sold a few good horses. He sold one to Nichols, to Delahaye for Talk to the Man, it's called, for a fair bit of money. He has a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was talking to him about them today, and he said, mention them. I said, I will.
Make sure when he's got a good one, you tell us.
Yeah, I will. We'll go in.
You've got a direct line there now, Josh, to the Parkway now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, well, and again, I mean, I say podcast favourite, but a lot of these are podcast favourites, because we absolutely adore them. But White Rhino absolutely mullered him at Haydock. He's off a mark of 141 now. Where's the next win coming here, Josh? Because he's just an absolute brute of an horse. What a jumper and what a stayer.
He's just improved so much again this year. Just every time you run him, you think, he can't win again. He can't keep improving, but he seems to.
I mean, what mark did he start off at? Do you remember?
71, was it? 72, something like that.
I think a lot of people thought that as well, didn't they? He drifted out to sea before the off.
When? The other day?
Yeah, on his last run, he was about 6-4 the night before, and he went out to 72.
He did that at air as well for some reason. He drifted right out, but people probably just thinking he's done his winning. Like, he keeps going up so much, he can't win again. But he just obviously is improving and with every run. Fences have definitely brought out the best in him as well. He just finds it so much easier. He literally cruises around. He's found a gear, but I think because he jumps so well, I think it makes him look like he's travelling easier. Like he lands, running, so then Henry can take a pull even over a shorter distance. His jumping keeps him in the race and sort of gains length, so then he can grab hold of him. Whereas over hurdles, you always probably chase him up a little bit because he can't make that ground over hurdles like he can over fence. But he's a fair beast. He's improving all the time. Like I say, going to try and go to Warwick for a Grade 2 novice chase over 3 mile. The race, Grey Dawning won it last year on the 11th of Jan, and then we could end up going straight to the national chase at the festival with him from there. Now it's a handicap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is something like the national chase now that it's switched back to an handicap? Is that something that you're aiming for?
Definitely, yeah. I think it'd be one of the week as a festival handicap goes. It could be one of the slightly less competitive that race. I don't think it'll be a great race. Well, compared to the handicaps, I think it'll be a lot weaker. We know he stays well. Be able to drop him in a race like that, and he'll just cruise around, and then hopefully, if he gets the trip and on a bad mark, he'll have a go.
We can all have a big party on the Tuesday night.
Right.
I know that will be on him. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Wonder where we'll wake up in our tuxedos on that Tuesday night.
Probably in a dustbin or something.
We're upside down somewhere if White Rhino wins that national chase. I'll tell you that for free. Go on then. So we'll go back over to a couple of hurdles. That Gamesters guy then, obviously got beat first time out, which is fair enough. I think when we had Henry on, he said he just got the last a bit wrong. He's then gone and bolted up next time. Carlisle, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's a horse we've loved from the start. Again, he's a big, weak-looking thing. I think he'll be a much better horse next year going chasing. But he's just one of them. He's not nothing flashy or anything, but he just gallops all day. The harder work it is, the better he becomes. If it's soft, stiff track, he'll just keep galloping. He's been real impressive last time. Like he really quickened away from them other horses. I know the second horse, Nicky Richards, they like. He's been given a mark 127, which for a novice after 2 hurdle runs shows he's running to a fair level. He might run. Well, I think he probably will run at Cheltenham Trials Day 25th in a novice hurdle there as a Grade 2 novice. See how we get on, if he's up to it or not, and then sort of make a decision from there.
Yeah, I mean, that Banger race seems to be quite decent form because the winner of that, Navarro Indy, won at Newbury, I think, next time out. And that had Queen's Gamble in it, Jericho de Rettenay.
Good race, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was literally, I think must have been it was the day before, actually, wasn't it? Yeah. The day before he won at Carlisle, Navarro Indy won at Newbury. So we were all getting excited. And then on the day, I was getting nervous. The pressure was building, thinking he's got to win now. But yeah, he'll be a good horse. He already is a good horse, but he'll be an even better horse when he goes chasing over 3 mile next year.
Fantastic. A horse that has maybe struggled to win a little bit. Finn Lock, a string of seconds there. Is there any sort of key to getting him over the line in front?
Well, I wish I knew it.
We followed him off a cliff a few times now. Since that run at Weatherby that time when I saw you guys.
Yeah, a couple of us have, to be honest. He's a lovely horse, got loads of ability, and I think he's going to be one of them that when he does win, you get a bit of confidence in him because he's not ungenuine.
Yeah.
I just can't work out, he could just be bumping into horses. I think Huntingdon, I was a bit disappointed he didn't win that day because he got to the front and then that other horse battled back past him. But Doncaster the other day, he never looked like he was quite getting there anyway. Like I say, I think he's a big confidence horse. I think once he does go and win one, he'll win a couple. But he just needs decent ground, galloping track. So I think might go to Doncaster on the 29th with him for a 3 mile chase again.
Oh, I think I'll be there.
Cool. We'll have a few runners there.
I think I'm going to Doncaster on 29th.
I'll have to take your wallet then, Rich, mate. All right, you ready?
With a sign.
I've got a few more left, and then Rich is going to ask you for a couple, and then you're sick of my voice. But Crystal Glance is an horse I really like. She's had a win in a second, and off a mark of 97. Is there a bit more room in that mark, do you think? Yeah,
definitely. I think so. Bumped into one the last day. It was only a third or fourth run over hurdles the other day at Doncaster. She lacked experience, and I think she'll just keep getting better. I think now she's ready to go up in trip as well. She just seems to stay well. Planning to run at Aintree on Boxing Day. There's a 2.5 mile mares, 0 to 120. So I think the extra difference will really help her.
Fantastic. Luna de la Mar is a horse I'm really interested in. Is I think entered over at Haydock as well. Bumper may nearly win it. What do you think of him? Chances fresh or need a run maybe?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. We thought a lot of him. Obviously, he's got a little injury, had a year off.
Yeah.
But I think he'll probably need it a bit. Saturday runs at Haydock, first run for over a year. But he'll need better ground than it's going to be at Haydock. But we just got to get started somewhere. It's nice and local. I think he'll run well, but I just don't think he'll love that proper soft ground. And I think he'll improve a bit. So he's on a nice mark, so he could get away with it. But yeah, I think he should be a lot better than 110. But like I say, I think he will need a run.
Fantastic. Rich, have you got those couple of little hidden handicap potential gems you want to ask about?
Yeah, just the two that I mentioned. So when we was at the yard last time, Colin mentioned a bumper horse that ran. I can't remember when he ran, but Peckforton Hills was one that Colin mentioned to us. Finished 5th at Carlisle. I thought he was running quite well, and then I don't know if I think the ground was quite bad that day. He looked quite shocking.
We were happy enough. We were happy enough, really. He is a real nice horse. I think he could nearly go and win a bumper next time. It looked a good race. That there's a couple they really fancied before.
Yeah.
And Henry said he just ran a bit green. And then actually, if you watch, so I was there live, and the last furlong he was finishing the fastest of the first 4. He was really catching the first 4. He sort of just clicked halfway up the running and started to finish really well.
Yeah.
I think next time he'll go there, knowing his job a bit more. He'll be a lot more switched on. He's a lovely horse. Whether he's a bumper horse, probably not really, but he could still nick one. And he jumps really well, so he'll be a lovely horse going novice hurdling next year.
No, good stuff. We'll keep an eye on that one. And the other one I thought was quite interesting. Kiwu finished 6th at Utoxeter. It's the French form that are quite interesting. I mean, he finished 2nd at Auteuil against Camero de Huts, I think it is. Oh, that horse has got some quite decent form with Jet Blue, who won at Cheltenham, I think, in the About Damn Time race, and that one of JP's that finished, was it 2nd in Ireland? I forgot what the name was. And there, I think it was. But
right.
I think that's quite decent form, so I'm quite interested to see what your thoughts are on Kiwu.
Yeah. We like him. He's just taken a long time to sort of come good. Sometimes, well, most of the time, those French horses do take a season before they actually get into their form, like Gabaro, Jesquiel, all those. Pomp Public, even they all took a year before they got into the swing of it. He's a nice horse. I think the other day we just rode him to run well. Tried to not put him under any pressure. I think he'll improve a lot, and I think he'll just be one of them. Will keep getting better throughout the season. But he's a nice horse, and he's got some good form in France. So if we can get him back to that, he should have a nice horse on our hands.
No, top stuff.
Right, well, last little bit on this section, and Josh, and then what we'll have is we'll have 2 autos to follow from you, and then we'll go into the Ante-post selection. We like to go through not when it's a jockey or whatever, we just go through a couple of the declarations that you've had in the next couple of days. But Henry actually gave us a really nice horse called Dazzle Like This, who's running tomorrow at your top set. She obviously had a really nice run, first time out, second the same day that About Damn Time won. She's in at favourite tomorrow. She's up in trip. Are you expecting a big run?
Definitely, yeah. She should have improved plenty from Carlisle. She ran a good race, like you say. Just still quite green to watch her at Carlisle. So I think she should have just switched on a bit from that. I think the trip will help. She stays well. At point to point, she was galloping him into ground. Wouldn't want it to get too soft. Soft's fine, but if it went heavy, I'd be slightly worried. But I think hopefully she should be the best horse in the race and still might get away with it. So, yeah, ideally they don't get loads of rain.
Lovely. Well, we're going to stick with you. Talks at Pat Stream, obviously won at Market Raising. Do you fancy him to go in again?
Yeah, I think he's got plenty left in his mark. He seems to just be doing it. I think I like the way he's only just winning because it sort of helps us out with the handicapper.
We get nudged up a little bit each time.
Exactly. He looks a proper horse. I mean, you'd think if you didn't know what he's rated, you'd think he was a proper horse. And his point to point for him, have you seen his first run in the point to point? He finished behind Fact File and Asian Maze or Asian Master, beat 9 lengths or something. So he's obviously got a fair bit of ability there. he's getting his confidence back. Like to think he could go in again tomorrow, hopefully with a bit of luck.
Have you put the cheap pieces on? Did I read somewhere?
Yes. He just made slightly hard work of it the other day. Henry just asked if we could have him on just to help him out. It'll just help him go through the race a bit easier, a bit smoother.
Lovely. Well, the last two I've got on my list are, well, obviously I've got to get Let's Go Joe in. Obviously, we don't normally see Joe, so we had to get him in. But he's he looks at each way price tomorrow. He was at £5 for the win at Donny. But do you think there's more room in that for tomorrow?
Yeah, should be. I mean, from his novice hurdle win, it should be. He just lost his way. His wind went a bit, and he lost his confidence, and he had his wind up, and now he seems to be getting it back. He seems in real good form. I think should go well again tomorrow. Really, the second horse has won since from Doncaster. Yeah, should as long again. It wouldn't want it heavy. Really, hopefully it doesn't get any more rain. But yeah, he should go very well. The only thing is 17 runners around. He tops to bloody carnage. There's a lot of runners around. Yeah, you're gonna need a bit of luck. So that's the only annoying thing.
But it sounds like a very, very juicy treble. Does that tomorrow? You do seem to. If you land one, you seem to land 2 or 3 on day. I've noticed. So hopefully it's a big day for you tomorrow. The last one I've got then is another horse that Henry gave us, Eagles Gold. He said that's going to be a really nice horse for some sort of handicap down the line. What sort of run are we expecting tomorrow?
Again, he wouldn't want it as soft as it is, really, but it's his last run for a handicap mark. He's still a big baby, so he's going to need the experience. So it's nice and local. We'll go there. I think he'll run well, but I just don't think he's quite switched on enough to win yet. He's still a big sort of gormless thing.
A bit like me then.
Who's that? Me on the horse.
I got him before you there, Joe. Sorry, mate.
He'll come good when he'll have a little break after tomorrow if he gets a handicap mark, and then when the ground turns a bit better in the spring, he'll hopefully go and win some handicaps.
Bit like a Mrs. Tabitha.
So again, yeah, exactly.
Bit like a Mrs.
Tabitha again. You'll get Rich going again. Are we expecting? What are we expecting? We didn't mention Miss Tabitha this time, Rich. What's up with it?
Rich? It's getting winter. She doesn't like soft ground.
She just lost her way annoyingly a bit. She just, I don't know, she's gone slightly the wrong way. I don't know if it's attitude or what. She did have a slight wind issues. Whether that's just got in the back of her head a little bit. She just hasn't progressed like we had hoped she would. We're just going to give her a break now, give her a proper break, and then try and come back over fences in the spring and see if we can just get her confidence back.
Yeah. One I did forget to mention was a JP horse called My Noble Lord. Finished behind East India Dock at Cheltenham, who was ultra impressive. He's now the favourite for the Triumph. What are the plans with him now going forward, do you think?
He needs real soft ground. That day we sort of found that out. He just said, John just said he felt like 3 mile chaser trying to go around with them lot on that ground.
Yeah.
And he looks like one, to be fair. He's massive. For a 3-year-old hurdler, he looks like a pointer, really. He's like a big Irish bred-looking horse. He's going to go to Chepstow for the Grade 1 juvenile next week, as long as it's soft.
Good stuff.
One more then. I mean, obviously, making headway. Obviously, got the injury out for the season. I just wondered, how's his recovery going? Is it definitely next season?
Yeah, he's going good. He's happy. But yeah, he won't run until next season. We'll just give him all the time he needs and a bit extra just to make sure we get him back, because he hopefully could be a nice horse of fences. But he's good, happy.
I'll never forget that day at Carlisle with him and White Rhino. What a day I was there.
You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, getting soaked on the balcony with Rach and Craig. Rach was calling Henry because it got a bit close, didn't it, at the end with making headway.
Yeah.
But at Carlisle, you can sort of only see the head on, and you couldn't really see, and she was going ballistic.
I bet.
What a day.
Oh, I love it. Right, well, cheers for all that information, Josh. I mean, honestly, we really do appreciate you giving us this sort of insight, and taking your time to give us that. The next sort of bit we do is we always ask for 2 horses to follow from the guests. So that could be anyone that we spoke about, or somebody that we haven't seen or not spoken about, or somebody where we can maybe have a little bit of a bet next time we see him. Do you have any for us? Who's the handicap plot? Who's the handicap good thing coming up?
Handicap good thing.
Where's the Christmas bonus coming from?
I need it.
I don't know. To be honest with you, Jack's Parrot runs on Saturday in the Tommy Whittle at Haydock. I thought he could improve a lot this season, and we thought he had at home, and I think he just blew up at Carlisle. If I'm right, and he did blow up, that's what Henry said, and that's what it looked like. I think he could have a good few pound in hand. It'd be a decent price on Saturday. I love the ground. He could be a good each way bet. Horses to spot. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I know he's not a huge price, but I just had a look at Pat's stream there. I watched the end of his last run, and he seemed to only be like, I mean, Henry had to work to get him there, but once he got there, it was like a canter. When he went across the line, I think if them cheek pieces work, he could be a walking tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Definitely. I think they'll make a big difference, exactly. Horse to follow, I mean, I'll mention one that we haven't mentioned just to give you something else, but I think that Billy the Real Big Red, in January when the ground's horrendous, bottomless, he could nick a decent race, I think. You can always back him. If it's proper bottomless ground, you can always back him because not many go through it like he does. He's just a tough little bugger and he just wants to do it. So I think if you see him in a good race in January and it's heavy ground, then yeah, he could be one to follow.
Fantastic. Well, those are some really good ones for us, Josh. Cheers, mate. We'll be following them blindly, and if they don't win, well, that's the game, isn't it? But no, we'll follow them definitely. Brilliant. Well, that's it for that section. So the last section then we're going to do our Ante-post picks. Obviously, we have a few in our team so far. We'll do one each, and then if you can give us one at the end, Josh, that'd be great. And we can add it to the guest team. And as we go through our picks, we'll get your opinion on them as well. So what we're going to do is, seeing as we'll go with you first, Rich. You've obviously, I can't remember who you've gone for so far. I think you've got the Jukebox Man for the Browns. You've got Lossiemouth for the Champion Hurdle, and you've got Gate Warriors for the Champion Chase, if I'm not mistaken. So, for your fourth pick, mate, who is it this week?
So I've kind of gone for a bit of a risk, a bit of an outside one. Not seen over hurdles yet. I'm going for the Triumph. There's a horse called Hello Neighbour.
Kyprios.
What was the horse you went for last year that we'd not seen yet, and then we never saw him?
Nice ears.
It's for me, I think, wasn't it?
Who?
Was it? I think it was It's for me. I think I'm.
No, that one, another one, I think. No, the one that said he had good ears.
Yeah, Daryl said he had good ears. He was a Willie horse, JP. He got injured. Oh,
anyway, let's stop hammering him. Go on, Rich. Take it away, mate. Triumph.
Anyway, the Triumph Hello Neighbour for Gavin Cromwell's the one I'm going to put up. Not seen out over hurdles yet, but is entered over Christmas for 2 races at Leopardstown. One's a Grade 2 juvenile hurdle, the other's a 3-year-old maiden hurdle. He's unbeaten on the Flattened Island. I mean, I'll just read a couple of comments from Cromwell Stable Tour. He's an interesting 3-year-old that they're excited about. He's got an entry. He's the one they're most looking forward to over Christmas. So he's obviously highly rated. I mean, on the flat, he's beaten a couple of O'Brien horses who's been rated like 88, 89. Like I say, I think he's about 12 to 16 to 1, I think, best price. I think that's just a good sort of shot in the dark each way sort of fancy. I mean, we'll know more over Christmas when he can't jump and he finishes about last. But I'm happy to take the risk now. So Hello Neighbour.
I mean, I'll come to you, Josh. What do you think of him taking on Willie Mullins in the Triumph? I mean, he's got no chance there, surely, hasn't he?
God knows, we don't even know if he can jump yet. For me, that race, that East India Dock, I was there at Cheltenham, and the speed it came up the hill past me. I was stood just after the last. It was unbelievably impressive. I couldn't look elsewhere from him, really. He looks smart.
Yeah, I think he's the best of the British. I think we've not really seen what Mullins has got yet. And Rich putting up a Cromwell horse that we've not seen yet either. I think that's very brave of you, Rich. You're trying to think outside.
Well, it's an Irish horse in the Triumph, so I think I'm halfway there.
Yeah, I suppose you're halfway there, then, aren't you? I suppose, yeah. I just think Willie Mullins could probably run 2 of the races on his own. He's got that many, but now we'll see. Joe, then let's come to you, then, mate. Obviously, you've got.
I am going to request for you to go first, just because I'm not sure if you have picked this horse this week. I was trying to look through there.
Right, well, I'll go for mine. And well, I've got Salvatore. Well, I've got Salvatore Monday for the Supreme, who we've not seen out so far this season. He has got an entry in the over Christmas, so we'll see if he comes out. I've got Dancing City for the Browns, and I've got my other one. What's my other one, Rich?
It's in the article in the pocket.
Oh, in the pocket in the article. Yeah, I think he's a really good horse, and it's a murky picture the article. Anyway, I'm going to play my captain this week, guys, and I'm going to play it before the festive period, so I get double the points. And I've got somebody coming in the room. Oh, it's plugged in here. Just going to move over here a bit. I'm going to grab my charger while we're at it because my phone's dying.
I'm just going to the loo then.
So the missus is doing the Sainsbury's shop and she needs a charger. So yeah. Anyway, my selection then, I'm going to play my captain for double the points. I've got 7-2, and I'm going for the all-time great. I'm going for the hat trick. I'm going for the Gold Cup, and I'm going for Galloping des Champs. I absolutely adore this horse. I think he's the one with the experience. I'm not bothered about him getting beaten the John Durkan. You know, if you go back through his last two times, he's won. He won the John Durkan, now he's Gold Cup, beat Brave Man's Game. Year after he lost in the John Durkan, he's then gone on to win the Savills, won at the Dairy again, won the Gold Cup. This year, beating the John Durkan again. He's going to go for the race over Christmas. I think it'll be MV Factor File, which seems to be the way. Although I know a couple are mentioned in the King George, but the ground may go against them, so it might be. We might see another run in the John Durkan, but obviously over the 3-mile trip. I think that's his trip. I think he'll win, and I really fancy him to go and win another Gold Cup. I know Factor File looks pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. Just stepping up to the Gold Cup trip's massive. You know, it's like an extra furl, and whether they'll be able to get it, I don't know. Whether they'll get it this year, they might be the horses for the year after. We shall see. Josh, what do you think? Can he get the hat trick?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why he could, exactly. Factor File, I mean, he looks a fair beast, doesn't he? But Galloping's been there, done it. Like you say, his route's always quite similar. Yeah, definitely. I think he knows what to do when it comes to Cheltenham on that day. He loves the track, and yeah, I think he definitely could. Yeah,
I'm going for experience over youth. Let's say.
And Willie will train him for the day, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, he'll have him. I know it's obviously hard. I mean, it's hard to go back to back. Never mind to win 3, but I thought it would a mega run that he did in the John Durkan behind. I mean, they're all sort of a length off Factor File and that, and they seem to just have a little bit more pace, which is fine. I think when you start stepping up in trip, we'll really see. Even if he got beat over 3 mile, if he still runs well, I'd still say I'm happy to be on him for Gold Cup because it's a different animal, that race. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Go on then, Joe. Is it the same one you were going to pick, or hopefully not?
It was. So I have sort of changed. It is quite I think this is quite a tough period, to be honest. We've seen a few, we haven't seen them all. I've obviously gone Margeborough for the Browns. Backstory on that.
Is that dead in the water now, do you think? Is he going to end up in the Arkle?
I just knew he was obviously a big horse last year in the Triumph. I put it on Twitter as well. I said, don't back this lad for the Triumph, back him for a chase next year. I edged my bets that he'd be a staying
Don't back him for the Triumph, and then he won it.
I know, exactly. My cousin backed him for the Triumph as well. He got 6. Picking myself. But no, he obviously had class. He's a big horse. He's a galloper. I think with the Turners and everything that's happened there, and then Ballyburn getting stepped up again to 2 mile 3, he's been entered for. I think it is dead in the water. You know, I do think he's a classy chaser. I've just obviously picked the wrong race, but what can you do with that? 10 to 1.
You've got Lossiemouth for the mares as well. Is that
yeah. And I tell you what, I think Sergino will go to the Arkle. I know that was sort of a bit laughed at by you two lads when I said it, but I still think he will go there. And obviously I've changed up. I was going to go the Gold Cup, but I am rerouting, and it is another very, very brave pick because we haven't seen her this season. But for the novice hurdlers, the mares that we have seen, I think they have been pretty not poor, but nothing set anything alight, have they? And I do remember last year when we were at Cheltenham and I was in a pub, there was a lot of guys with a close-up body warmers on, and they were all telling everyone, lossy mouth, lossy mouth, lossy mouth. I was next to one of the guys, and he said, the price is gone. Just back Maureen for next year in the Mares Novice Hurdle. And it did stick with me. She is short, but like I said, nothing's really set that picture alight. She's 9-2. I would play a small win on her. I've seen a few clips of her galloping round. It's very deep there. Like I say, there's nothing really out of the mare novices at the minute, and I just think if she does win one in Ireland, she's probably going to go 2-1 less. So I'll have a go with Maureen, 9-2 for the Mares Novice Hurdle.
No, I think it's a fair pick, mate. There, what do you think of that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, with those Irish horses, you sometimes got to follow the rumours, and they're quite often right, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know much about her myself, so I couldn't comment much more. But when you're following, it's one of Willie's, isn't it? You say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you're following Willie, you're not going too far wrong in those races, are you?
No, was it named after his mum? I'm sure
that's
she was
right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they were going on about the story and when the stars just aligned and they said, oh, she was a big baby, but they ran her in a mare's flat race and she won by 11 lengths, and she sort of blew them away. And then she's a massive horse and she's just going to gallop up that hill. And I'm just thinking, oh, keep on running.
The dream, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair pick, Joe. I mean, we've had a couple of come out there, haven't we? You know, I mean, that's nice. Was a big talking horse, got beat at Cheltenham. Diva Luna obviously come out and got beat. So there's a couple of question marks, and I think it's a fair pick, and hopefully we get to see it out soon. Go on then, Josh. You can finish us off for the guest team so far. We've obviously had Diva Luna. That was Keelan Woods' pick. We've had Henry on, and he picked, I think it was Grey Dawning, in a race. And what was the other one, Rich? I always forget.
East India Dock was the last one.
Oh, yeah, Dylan Johnson, East India Dock, was his pick. So have you got an Ante-post pick for us for the festival?
I was going to go East India Dock, because like I said, but seeing as he's been picked, I'll pick something else. That, for me, I think that Lou de Sud, Skelton's source, he looks proper. He's like, to win those 2 mile chases, you've got to jump like he does. Not many can do that. He's electric. He's been round there. He's running big 2 mile handicaps. He's hardened up to it. He's got loads of experience. He could be one in that race. He could go on in front, and he could take a hell of a lot of catching. Obviously, we know he likes the track, and like I said, I just think that experience he's had over hurdles to go take into chases, jumping like he does, he's a hardened customer. I think he could go very well. What sort of price would he be? I haven't actually.
I think he's around 6-7-1, isn't he, Rich? You've got it up there.
Yeah. Be a quick look. What race is it again?
It's a very. I mean, I was dead impressed with sort of how smart he jumped. You know, every time he was kind of in short, he didn't lose any momentum.
No,
you don't want to get that, do you?
No.
8-1 best
8
price.
to 1.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a white Rhino, to be honest, Josh.
I can't go to one of our own, can I?
To be fair, there's no prices up yet.
No market yet.
We're backing him blind, whatever price he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Odds on.
Yeah. If he wins at Warwick, we might have to reroute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be my one. Like I say, East India Dock's my other one. I just think I've not seen many come up that hill like he did that day. It was seriously impressive.
Fantastic. Well, we'll add those two. We'll add those to the teams. Well, that's it then, Josh. So to finish us off, all I've got to say is we've also got the competition running. So if you are watching, do like and subscribe to the channel and enter your selections in the video. Obviously, we partnered up with Hacked Up Racing, a good guy who's doing a lot of good work and a lot of really good racing gear. So we've got a big bundle to win that. So make sure you add your selections to your teams in the comments. We'll get you added into that. So, Josh, have you had a good time, mate? Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, loved it. Cheers, lads. Yeah, hopefully,
appreciate it. Exactly, mate. We've been well supported by the guests, and to have yourself on and to go through those, it's really helpful to us, and we massively appreciate it. So, thank you. Rich and Joe, we're gonna we've got a weekend preview coming up, and then we've got the Christmas special next Monday. I'll be posting all that up on Twitter and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna leave you now. Thank you all for listening. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all again next time. So cheers, Josh, Joe, and Rich. Thank you and goodbye.
Cheers, Josh.
Cheers, Josh. See you lads.